labor, and the expression of worth. Last couple of days, I rewatched this video that was offered by the devotees of Adi Da, the teachings of one who understood himself as the one. I watched that documentary a couple of years ago and I was like, well, that's there's a lot of processing I'm doing around that. Sometimes it's okay not to know right now. We don't have to know. We can say something like, well, there's an observation. There's been a change in the way I see the world. Changing worldviews can be quite an experience. Oftentimes, we are unconsciously protecting ourselves from a change in worldview. And now it appears that we may have AI that chooses for us what we see because it wants to keep us in front of the screen longer. We need to be conscious of that. We do still have the capacity to choose to look for different things that challenge our viewpoints. We have that choice. Daniel Schmachtenberger talking about this evolutionary perspective, how it helps us to see ourselves as dynamic in the evolution of our consciousness. We see ourselves as changing beings, yes? This is great to hear. I'm glad to hear this teaching coming forth. This is a very good thing. Because we're selecting now. It is an artificial selection. Some say humans domesticated themselves. Yes, we are now consciously choosing our traits. So it is more important now than ever to choose strength, ferocious compassion, absurd generosity, intensity, and solid practice. Release exercises like forgiveness. Becoming really, really open and honest with the people that we call friends, and understanding circles, and understanding that not everyone is always privy to every piece of information. That's not what honesty is, right? These are big issues for those of us who are really having a difficult time dropping some ego. The fearful parts of us, it's not uncommon, right? This is the human experience. If we can't describe our fear parts, then our fear may be unconscious. So I think, first of all, it's about coming into the consciousness of our own fear. We start to understand what fear is. And sometimes we start to understand that we were told that shame is love, weird things like that. Or one might discover that he is asking for abuse, that he is asking to be hurt, that he is asking to be dominated somehow. These things occur where someone discovers these just the unconscious. The ego is a tricky, infinitely creative being at playing hide and seek, right? So if we truly are to remain dynamic, these are the things that must be unwound. And how can things be unwound? Well, these are good questions. There are spiritual masters who came by and said, give everything to me. Drop your nets and follow. I think that there is something to that intensity. And I hope, still, in my good moments, I still have hope that this life, the personal life here, will have something to show and have something to say about all of this and what it's like to move and to change and to acknowledge one's shadow and to also know one's self as the light. And I've developed this language. I've been developing this language so that I could live today, so that I could have something to come out of my mouth. I'm making sense of the personal terrain, the personal suffering terrain. That's a discussion, right? The personal terrain of suffering and how to manage that and how to release that. What's that like? Many have had much to say about this. This is the conversation. Thank you. Thank you for taking this time.